Y'all want the good news or bad news first?
Good.
Okay. Good news is we always get caught up in the business of the season, and we rarely get to make mention of things like this, but it's certainly something that I'm extremely proud of for our university. You know, UGA was ranked again in the top 20. We're actually ranked 19th in the recently released U.S. News and World Rankings of universities and colleges. It's the 10th straight year we have been in the top 20 national ranking, which I think is incredible. I think it's a credit to our administration, to our entire university. I just love it. I love the fact that we have an incredible academic institution and we get ranked highly in that. It helps us recruit, but it attracts people all over the country to our university, so I love it. So for the bad news, I'm not going to continue to do these on Tuesday nights. I have my whole staff up there waiting on me now, and it ends up eating up my time. So I've told these guys, they think that I'm an idiot for doing it, but I get to see you guys on Monday, and then I get to do the deal with y'all on Wednesday. So I won't be doing these unless they feel like there's a reason to do it one week or certain weeks every other week on Tuesdays. But I don't like my staff sitting up there waiting on me for 20 minutes while I'm waiting to get up there. So that's the bad news. Any questions on Alabama?
2 days into practice, just how's it been so far this week?
Very spirited, trying to make sure we don't overdo it. It's always it's the giddy up whoa theory, and we got to hold them back this week because there's a lot of chippiness. Guys want to play well. I would say it was not a great Monday. Just we come off 3 days, 2 days off. Not always got to get them going some. And then today was good. They had good tempo. Good practice, did some good on good, did some scout work, did some crossover work. Things have been good. We got to execute the plan, and it comes down to players making plays.
Coach, as far as having the extra time, I know you touched on this a little bit yesterday, but having the extra time to help develop more depth, which is something I know you've been doing, really all since we started this year, and I guess specifically about the O-line, safety, those two positions, as far as building that depth of the game this week?
Yeah, I want to build depth in the season, and we got a lot of reps for guys in the off week or the bye week. We had a lot of reps for guys, and we get a lot of guys reps because of the way we do our scout teams. We make things, and we have coaches that know our terms, and we coach the players. So if you're a scout team player, you're doing our defense, you're doing our offensive plays because they carry over. So, but I can't say that you can develop enough depth in season or in 10 to 12 days to sometimes make up for, what's missing. We're just trying to get everybody better, and it's not like one area where we're trying to grow guys. We got some talented young wideouts. We're trying to get better. We're trying to get them to understand where to line up, what to do. A lot of guys just don't know how to focus in meetings and carry it over to the field. And that's what we're trying to get, more guys that can play winning football.
Yeah, Oscar Delp, I think, played 85 snaps against Tennessee. Obviously so many people look at his production in terms of catches and receptions and try to gauge him from that. But what has he brought to this team this year as a senior for you guys?
Well, he's got unbelievable physical toughness. He's a guy that has there's years he's had really good health, knock on wood. He takes a lot of reps because even when Brock was here and those guys were here, he took a lot of reps and a lot of workload. He's really tough. His strength is probably his toughness and his point of attack blocking. It's hard to find guys that can block SEC type 6 techniques and 9 techniques, and there's a place for that on our level and levels above. He's caught the ball really well. He made some really big plays in big times last year in the SEC championship, and then even in the Tennessee game. So I appreciate the way he goes about his work. He doesn't complain. He buys into the team, and he and Lawson have been really consistent.
Yeah, just what have Juan and Ernest been able to do through 2 days so far this week?
Just working hard. That's all they can do right now is put their head down and grind and try to get better. Continue to develop, and we'll continue to do that with all those guys. We got a lot of guys who get work right and left side. You got to have guys that can swing and play both, and there's things you do to try to help guys. And they do the same thing. We do the same thing. You're constantly looking to try to find a niche for those guys to get better.
You mentioned holding guys back a little bit this week. How do you balance making sure that they're still playing with that fire and passion, but also being smart?
Yeah, I think that's my job, to make sure that the tempo we're at is the right tempo. You certainly can't go out there and not see fastballs and then go hit fastballs. You know, you gotta practice against the speed of what you're going to play against. But we got to be careful about the volume, and you know, not leave it all in the practice field. And it's been hot. I'm sure it's hot there. So it's one of those things we have to monitor, because we're playing at night. We're not practicing at night.
What has Dwight been able to do so far this week?
Yeah, he seems to be fine. He's rolling in there, playing special teams and doing things well. So he's really had no limitations.
You just mentioned Oscar's blocking. Would you say that's been the biggest growth area since he got into the program, or would you think it's something else?
No, I would say his maturity is his biggest growth area. He was, I wouldn't say a knucklehead early on, but he would, you know, he had his moments, he had his days when he was, you know, like all freshmen, struggling to make it through the practice. It was hard on him. We pushed him hard. You don't ever notice that with him anymore. Really, since last year, he pushes through practice. He gives good effort. He has the physical and mental stamina to sustain through a good 2-hour practice, and that's the most growth he's made. He was always physical, but he has become a better all-around tight end.
Coach, you were on the sidelines the last time these two teams played in Athens. Can you just tell me what you remember from that matchup in 2015?
Derrick Henry, it was wet. The run broke out late on us, and the D-line tried to fight the linebackers on the sideline because they were pissed that we gave up over 100 yards rushing. And I always tell that story, that when you got D-linemen that are mad and willing to fight when you're up 15, 20, 30 points, whatever it was, you know you got a good team.
Kirby, with guys in and out of the lineup on the right side of the line this season so far, do you have a good handle of who the best players are there?
Well, I think that depends on who's healthy. You know what I mean? Like, I could tell you who the best players are if they were all healthy,
Yeah.
but the health brings that into doubt, right? Like, guys 80%, another guy's 90%, another guy's 95%. It's hard to measure who's better, but that's everybody across the league right now. Our left side's not completely healthy. Our defensive line is not completely healthy. You know, our backfield's not completely healthy. So, I mean, and guess what? It's not going to get any better, not with what we've got coming down the pipe. So, it is what it is. It's part of being tough, and we instill that all off season, and it carries over. I mean, it's next man up. We got all kinds of linemen that go over there and play on the right side on the scout team, and they get better. And if we have to go to one of those guys, we'll go to one of those guys. We just want to get fighters.
So much of the conversation after the Tennessee game was about the secondary. What kind of response have you seen from that group since the Tennessee game?
I think they've challenged themselves. We've done a lot of things with them to challenge them in terms of competition, in terms of drills, in terms of changes. So I'm looking forward to seeing those guys go out and compete, and they got a hell of an opportunity because they got a really good quarterback and skill group to play against.
Yeah, traditionally it's been difficult for freshmen to come in and play on the offensive line. So what have Juan Gaston and Dontrell Glover shown in being able to do that for you guys?
Yeah, good instincts, good size. They both have good strengths. They came from good high school weight programs, and opportunity. I mean, if they were here last year or 2 years ago, I don't know if they would have. We've had a large group leave, you know, in terms of two things: draft, and we had several portals. And when you lose that in one position, it's hard to replace. Like I have seen this year coming for 2 to 3 years in terms of a gap. Just didn't know when it was going to hit because of Dylan and some of those guys had extra years.
Yeah, we're going to talk to Quintavious in a little bit. Just what have been the biggest areas of growth you've seen from him as he takes on a bigger role with that outside linebacker edge spot?
Yeah, confidence and leadership. He's very open to criticism. He accepts when he messes up. I love that about the kid. He's not one that makes excuses. He's not one that goes back and tries to, you know, weasel his way out of things. He owns up to it and says, hey, I can do better. And he has. He's grown as a person, player. And he had a really tough injury at the end of the spring, he overcame that, and still don't think he's all the way back, but he's playing well.
Alabama's getting their big no-tackle Keenan back impact he can potentially have in the game if he's allowed to do so.
Yeah, he's a tremendous player. He's explosive, he's quick, twitchy, disruptive, hard to move. They move him around. He plays in different fronts, odd and 4 down, and I've known Tim for a long time. He's a good football player.
Talking about kind of dealing with some of these guys being banged up and being young in rooms like the offensive line, with the unbalanced schedules you guys have now and the 12 team, has it changed the approach at all in terms of, we want to be the best team we can be by November? I know you guys want to win every game, but have you guys adjusted at all kind of to those changes?
I don't know what you mean by unbalanced schedule.
The unbalanced schedule in the SEC, not having the same divisional opponents, but maybe loading up with a Texas and an Alabama and Ole Miss kind of in 1 year.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter how you do the schedule, it's hard. I mean, it's brutal. And everybody's the same. I mean, we all got to play each other. It's really tough. Highly ranked teams, physical teams. It's just going to continue to be a grind. I mean, looking forward with the 9s coming, it's going to be scary because you just don't have enough. Nobody has enough depth. But I don't guess that really answers your question. But in terms of, do you want to be your best at the end? I think if it was a playoff system like the NFL, where a larger percentage of the teams made it, there might be decisions we made early in the season differently, knowing that we got to be at our best at the end. But if you don't get to the end with an opportunity, then do you regret what you did early? I mean, there's been decisions we've made and decisions we probably would have made this year if all that mattered was win the games at the end. But the games in the beginning have just as much value as the games at the end, and you can't put yourself in a position where you don't have your best players in the field, and sometimes that takes time.
How is Roderick Robinson doing? Is he still battling injury at all?
Yeah, he's had a hamstring during camp, and he was not really 100% from the ankle. His ankle injury was very significant, and he's worked really hard to overcome that. But part of his strength, he's a big guy. He's a big man like Josh, and it's a burst. It's him having an explosion in that leg and a hamstring. And I would say he's more healthy now than he has been since we started camp. He's closer to full speed, but he's still working on that. He's still fighting to contribute and help. He's very intelligent. He knows the offense inside and out. But there's a lot of depth in that room, and as long as people are healthy, it's going to be a healthy competition.
Got to see some of Sokobe in that Tennessee game. He had a big catch, I think, on that last drive. Just where do you feel like he is in his second year in the program?
He snatches the ball. He probably catches the ball as good as anybody in our group, man. He plucks it, natural hands, good route runner, savvy. He's been great. He works his tail off, and we've got a lot of confidence that we can put him in and he can execute.
Yeah, what are some of the things you're looking for from this defense to start fast, given what happened last year and then last week against Tennessee as well?
Stops. Like, don't jump off sides on 3rd down. Like that was a big thing last year. We get them in 3rd down, we jump off sides. It snowballs into another drive. We got to get lined up. They're going to play with tempo. They always have a tempo package. We got to get lined up. We got to play. We got to cover people. You can't run and hide from cover people. There's nothing that you can do to help yourself sometimes in their spacing where you got to put hands on people and you got to cover them. So we got to control the line of scrimmage, stop the run, affect the quarterback, and cover their people. And if you don't do that, then they're going to score. I mean, they got good players.
Yeah, I think it was Elijah Griffin who I think he lined up offsides against Tennessee. But what have been your impressions of him as he's got some playing time as a freshman, especially playing in an SEC game for the first time last week or 2 weeks ago?
He's explosive. He's quick. I don't think we've seen his best yet. He's made some plays in camp and in practices that he hasn't made in the game. He'll get an opportunity too, and I was proud of him going on the road in that environment to go out there and play. I'm sure he had some nerves, but he's going to be a good football player if he just keeps humble and hungry.
Coach, what have you seen out of the the front, just the defensive front, the defensive line, and the outside linebackers. Obviously, pass rush is a big thing at home in a game like this. Just what have you seen out of that group going into this one?
Yeah, they're hungry. They're ready to get after it. They want a challenge. They want to, it was tough. Tennessee. We didn't have many third downs. We didn't get in many passing situations, playing from behind most of the game. They did a good job picking things up. But I'm excited to see these guys go play. I mean, they want an opportunity to go play and get after it. And it's going to be a fun game. They got a really big physical offensive line. They can maul you and bully you. They're big and they're physical. And they got big, good backs. So it's going to be a great challenge for our front against their line.
Have time for one more if anyone has an additional one. Okay, Coach, thank you.